Can you believe Sam Darnold is 3-0? Jet fans.
65-1 for MVP right now. Rich.
Now, let me just say this. And I speak to all Jet fans who have lived and loved and lost, which is most of us. But I just want to talk about the lived and loved part, and then a little bit of the losing on that front. We've all had gents here in this room, and gents who are listening, and ladies out there listening. We've all had significant others in our lives that we thought was the one. We all thought, this is the one. I am in love. I'm head over heels in love. I want to be in love. I should be in love. And that person turns out to be someone else's love. It's tough. It's very, very tough.
Sorry, Rich Eisen.
It's very, very tough. For you to look there and see that other person living greatly. Maybe you see them on that person's Instagram account. Life looks great.
Ooh.
It stinks. It's very, very difficult. But if you can't be with the one you love, then love the one you're with. Jet fans. You have to. I will just say this to you all right here and right now. Sam Darnold could not have done this with the Jets. And the person that you should be looking at right now is not Joe Douglas, the general manager, Jet fans. It ain't. And not Robert Saleh, and not Mike LaFleur, the current head coach and coordinator and general manager. Don't look at that person. Look at management, the ownership, who said yes to Adam Gase. That's the people you should be upset with. It's ancient history, but what they did with Sam Darnold is absolutely football malice and criminal. And if you want to really peg it, you peg it on the head coach who had Tannehill and said, not this guy. And then had Sam Darnold and said whatever the hell they did there to try and surround him with people. And it wasn't working. It didn't work. And it is now officially, and I know it's just 3 games, it's officially not Sam Darnold's fault. And I feel great for him. I feel great for him. And at least Jet fans, he's in a spot where he's with a head coach that we couldn't get. Hold on a minute. I'm being told the Jets did have Matt Rule on their radar screen and told him to go back to Baylor because the coaches that he was going to hire were too green. So let's go get Adam Gase, who screwed up Tannehill and screwed up the Dolphins. Let's bring him in. I am officially on a rant. Let's bring him in with his googly eyes and all that craziness. Let's bring him in and let's let him actually start running the team because we're firing the general manager after we still let him pick the players. Let's go ahead and make sure this is the case for Sam Darnold. And just as if that wasn't enough for all of us to endure, if it wasn't enough, the football gods said, let's give Sam mononucleosis. And let's give it to him after ESPN decides to make him shoot the "You the Man" point at the camera in front of a green screen so they could use it whenever he's on Monday Night Football. Those things are shot during the summer. Let's have him point at the screen, "You the Man" point, and still use it when he's out with mononucleosis, just to make us all in Jet fandom feel stupid ourselves.
I'm seeing ghosts.
You know what? He saw ghosts against New England, and he definitely had moments where he did not overcome it. And the problem was at the time, Jets fans thought that he should be talented enough to overcome it. But we're seeing now through the first 3 weeks, that Sam Darnold, when given the shot and given the coaching and giving the staff and giving the teammates and giving the moment and giving the playbook and giving the opportunity and giving the health to not get mono, he's pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good. 300 yards passing, 2 rushing touchdowns. Only time the Jets have ever had that before was 4 years ago when Josh McCown did it. Okay? So it just shows you that the previous administration, when the owner was making America great again over in London and left it to his brother, and they decide, let's go with the Dolphins guy who clearly was over his skis. Those are the people you should blame, with all due respect to the Johnson family. That it does appear, though, those folks have gotten it right for the moment. I will say that. Because I'm seeing, and I feel it. Jet fans will be going, what are we doing with Zach Wilson? The kid's really, really talented. Trust this general manager and this head coach to get it right. We're still digging out of the wreckage that Darnold personifies in his 3-0 start. Still digging out of it. Football gods decide to strike Mekhi Becton down in week 1, pardon me. So, in the current administration, you trust. They're building from the line out. They're doing the smart thing. It's going to take some time. Darnold was not a viable quarterback in New York for this team anymore. No reason to saddle the current administration with Darnold's previous failures due to the organization. Don't saddle the new coaching staff with that. Start from scratch. Start the clock from scratch on how much this quarterback needs to be paid. Don't make the decision now that Darnold's worth the 5th-year extension when you don't have the horses around him to evaluate him properly or get him to win now. Jets made the right move, and it was also the right move for Sam, who I feel great for. And I feel great for Carolina fans. Coach is right. You got the coach right. You got the quarterback right. Just got to get your star player healthy. But for the Jets, don't take the cheese that Zach's the wrong guy. Okay? You got to see what this is all about. The Gase decision to bounce Bowles and hire Gase and still stick with the general manager, but then let that general manager draft and fire him and then give Gase the keys to the entire car, which he then runs into a ditch. So basically, that's the other way to look at Thursday Night Football for me. I just went on a rant.
I loved it.
I know you like rants.
Yeah. And also, Rich, that's something like, leading up to the draft, I would always ask you about the Jets, because you always had great things to say about Sam. And I always ask you, why don't they keep him? And you always gave your argument that he needs to go and start fresh. And you've really been proven right there.
Well, he's starting fresh. And he's got a connection with DJ Moore. And he already had one with Robbie Anderson with the Jets. And he's not even looking his way. It's all being funneled to DJ Moore, who's off to the 4th best start in Carolina Panther receiving history. The 3 better ones are Steve Smith seasons.
All 3?
Yeah. He's looking up at 3 Steve Smith seasons. I mean, it is working out well for Carolina. And for the Jets, they made the right move. But it also shows the previous couple of years was the hot mess that we all thought it was, not Sam's fault. And let's just hope they've got it right now. I think they have. And it's going to be ugly. Hold on for dear life. This weekend in Denver is going to be ugly, and there'll be some more ugly days, but I think they got the kid right, and they've got the line right, and they'll get the defense better, and they'll get this kid Michael Carter going and some other of these wide receivers going once Wilson can have the time and the inclination to play a little boring, to use Robert Saleh's phrase. But last night showed you not Darnold's fault. Even if he does regress and play 500 football the rest of the way. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.